don't know my story, all the things that I've been through. You got that on recording, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't really know my story till after I became a certified peer recovery supporter, and it had me go back and look at all of my life in recovery, and and it really started as a little boy being lost.
To become a peer supporter, you would be a person with the direct lived experience of a mental illness or an addiction that is walking a good recovery. You're stable with your addiction and you're stable within your mental illness. And you have reached a point in your life where you're ready to give back. And that's what most peers want to do, is give back, because we have been privileged to have somebody help us and walk with us to gain our recovery. So we want to give it back. We want to stop the pain and the hurt that our peers are going through.
So I got involved with 115 and did my outpatient drug and alcohol stuff through them, which was great. I met a wonderful lady who recommended that I should become a peer support. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? And then she explained what it was and everything. And I remembered throughout my history and my time in the hospitals and my time in rehabs and stuff, the people who were peer supports, they stood out to me then. It made sense.
And yeah, she got me hooked up and she told me what all it is, being there with lived experience, and I'm like, that's what I want to do.
That was my beginning of my real recovery journey when I realized I had value. I always thought I was no good. I was raised that way. You're gonna be just like your no good daddy. But even though I didn't like my daddy, I grew up to be just like him. I abandoned my kids. I became a person of the streets just like he did. His thing was alcohol, mine was crack. But it just took me down all the long roads. But it was then I realized I had value.
I know a lot of people, me, it was a little bit different, but for a lot, they don't want to share their story with someone that hasn't been there because they feel like they can't understand it.
We understand that. We understand don't know something wrong with us and don't know what it is. And that was a heck of a feeling when somebody talked to me, and then I said, dang, I can relate to what they're saying. And then they will give you the resources to get better.
And the people that I've talked to have been really happy and grateful that they have someone that they can talk to that's just as real as they are. And because I'm gonna be real, I'm gonna be 100% honest with them, because I don't want them to have any shame while they're talking to me and waiting for me to look up a resource for them.
Look at me, it took 10 years, everyone kept sugarcoating me and giving me no consequences, and I milked that. I thought, everything was gonna be okay because I hadn't hit that consequence. But you need to have someone tell you you're f***ing up. Otherwise, you're gonna continue down that path.
And, here at Goodwill, we're really blessed that we have this variety. We're able to come together because the unifying force is the mental illness, the trauma, and the addiction. And that's that's the connection.
When I do this work, it treats my addiction. See, and that's what people have to understand. When we do this, when we help somebody else, we helping ourselves, So you can't just not help others. I can't just, get recovery and just go on with my life and don't help nobody. I won't keep it.
I had a peer here, and I was in the huddle room, and I was out 15 minutes later, and she says, what'd you do? I said, what do you mean? I said, I saw my peer. She said, what? She said, go in there, you need to talk for an hour. Spend an hour with them, get to know them. And this was a threshold for me because I've been a surface person most of my life. You'll get the surface, but you'll never see me. Well, in that hour, after practicing that, feeling uncomfortable in that for a long, long time, then I learned what it meant to give part of me away. Yeah. And that's what works for me today, is I give me away. I give me away to my peers.